Good morning, YouTube. We're running a little late this morning and we're here. We made it.
Oh my goodness. We are here. We are live. And I am feeling better, but I just started coughing a little bit. So I'm trying to get my coffee drunken and all of that. So we've got Q&A today. I've got a lot of questions over on the YouTube channel, and it's high time that we went through them. But first, I wanted to plug my friend and also Helium. We had Helium on last week, and that was pretty awesome. So just got my account made, and
With Helium, you did?
yeah. And then I wanted to plug my friend Sean. Sean is a coffee roaster, and he's somebody that we've sourced with. I don't know. We met him sourcing online. That's how
Yep.
Tina and I met. We joined a group that all got
He and his
together.
wife are Amazon sellers. They mostly do Poshmark, but he has such a passion for coffee and coffee roasting. I think he's been at it about a year now. And so now he's started a private little business doing coffee roasting.
Yeah. So I've been he sent me a little sampler pack, and I don't remember. I have it written down, but we wrote down like a little chart, and I'm on coffee number 4, I think today. No, 5. And the first 2, 3 were amazing. And then the yesterday and today, I'm kind of like, they're not as good as the first 2. So whichever one we like the most at the end of the week, we're going to order a bunch. But he's got some other sampler packs on here. So if you guys are coffee snobs, coffee fanatics, there's a fine line. They've got some really cool things, and then he does all of his brewing and stuff, or roasting. He roasts all the beans and stuff, so it's really
very
cool. Fun. And I would rather buy from him than like the Safeways or
it's nice to support friends and small businesses, and
exactly.
they're really good people. He and his wife are truly great people.
They're very nice people, and I would much rather pay them than pay the store. So got that out of the way. And then Helium. I have a freaking link for Helium, and I gotta get that. I'll find that in a minute. We've got a lot of questions today, though. But if you are joining us and you guys have questions, please put them in there, and Tina and I will go through and read them off and get them answered. Good morning, Reno. Good morning, Thrifton and Flippin' Nicolette. Good morning, and Melinda. Hi. I hope everybody is doing good. So first question is from Millennial Money Mom. I don't see her yet in the chat, so I hope she's around. And she says, what about using the variation wizard to add a variation to an existing listing? For example, a KitchenAid appliance in a different color. Is that possible? And
depends.
Do you want to stab that first, or do you want me to?
Well, it depends. So with Variation Wizard, and especially the brand KitchenAid, none of us can sell, but let's say we can. Let's say we can sell KitchenAid, and you want to add the next color. If you are not allowed to create listings for KitchenAid, because nowadays Amazon will pop up that warning that says you are not authorized to make listings, with this brand. They want that letter of authorization or something sometimes. So sometimes the answer is just no, as much as we would like to. Other times you have to submit an invoice proving that you bought these items, showing the UPC on the packaging, showing the branding on the packaging, so you can show Amazon that it is this brand. You do have an invoice. This is the UPC. You just simply want to add it into the catalog. Then sometimes in this situation, you get a yes. Then my last deal is, let's say it's your own name brand or your own listings. It is very easy to merge more variations onto it because it's already your own brand. That's my short answer.
So I was reading and listening a little bit, but if it does not already have a variation, there's no way to use the Variation Wizard. Did you say that part too?
No, because I have used Variation Wizard to add on to variations in the past successfully.
Yes, but if it has no variations, you can't add on.
You sort of can. You can sort of maybe maybe I'm saying this wrong. So if there is
if it's yours, then yes. If it's not yours.
Yes. So if there is no variation, how I've done this is I create a new listing. Essentially, I'm creating a parent, and I add that existing listing in as one of the variations. So I will create, in this instance, we're pretending it's KitchenAid mixer. I will make my listing in my account KitchenAid mixer, and I say that it's a variation listing, and this is me creating a listing. I then put mine in there, the blue one, using the correct UPC for it, for KitchenAid, the color blue. But then my second one that's red, that was already on Amazon, instead of putting a UPC there, I put the ASIN associated with that existing listing. So what I've done now is I have forced them to be a variation on Amazon.
That makes sense. I have not done that with stuff that's already out on Amazon. I've done it with my own stuff.
I have many times now. Over the years, you used to just be able to do that. You could almost somewhat hijack a listing, and I don't mean in a crappy way. And for instance, years ago, I was selling these kids watches, like the character watches, LOL, Spider-Man, Batman, these little like digital watches you could get at Walmart. And there had been an existing LOL watch on Amazon that had a great rank. Mine didn't have a great rank because it was a newer listing, but they were both under the same brand. So I forced my variation onto that other variation, being able to take advantage of the rank that they had so I could sell my watches. Now, today, you can't get away with that because what I had said earlier is Amazon will shoot back to you. You're not authorized to create listings under this brand name. If you can get that authorization through an invoice or a letter from the manufacturer, then you can do that type of a method as long as the brands match.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. And we talk a lot about brands in our bundle groups and stuff. So I need to go live because we've had a few questions in there that need a little bit further elaborating. Because I see them on the Facebook and I'm like, okay, this is more than a 2-second answer. But a lot of times when I'm answering Facebook stuff, I don't have enough time to give the answer justice.
Yes. And Nicolette, that's so awesome. So Nicolette says, I'm happy to report back about my last question to you, which was last Friday, I believe. I started with finding just one replen, took photos at Aldi's, came home to research and found one to test. Thank you for getting me focused. That's awesome. And it's so exciting when that happens, even if it's one replen. But in reality, whether you're going through a store or through a wholesale catalog, some vendor, even just doing online arbitrage, sometimes you can spend an hour and really only find one decent item. And but it's like a win. It's like, yay, I found one.
Yeah, definitely. Start out with one and build. That's awesome.
I found several last night that I didn't buy because it was those situations where the item cost $20 and I was going to make 2. And it's like, that's just not good enough for me. That's not exciting. So I can find a lot with very little profit, but that just doesn't make the cut for what I'm looking for.
I just realized my desk is a mess in here. All right. Good morning. I know it feels like afternoon. She's been up since 6 a.m. That's like Tina. Tina gets up at the crack of dawn.
I do. I'm up very early, but I go to bed early too. So, I mean, I'm asleep sometimes as early as 7 at night and stay up as late as 8:30. Because I'm up so incredibly early. I'm up so early working on clients' accounts, working on posting bolos and the VA leads. And it's like, I need to be up early so I can get that stuff done so I can start my work day at a decent, by 9 o'clock.
Melinda says, is anybody participating in seller fulfilled Prime? No. I have heard bad things. I have heard not to do that because nobody is promising good delivery times right now. My husband was saying that on his stuff for Amazon, because he orders a lot of Amazon for work. And he's like, did you notice any problems this week? And I'm like, with what? I notice a lot of problems with Amazon every week. And he goes, well, sometimes they tell me that it's going to be here on, going to take 5 days to come here. And it comes within a day or two. And sometimes it says it's going to take a day or two and it takes like 5-6 days. And I said, yeah, shipping to my knowledge is just jacked right now. I I don't know. You get your stuff when you get your stuff. So I don't want to be locked into having to have it there on a specific time because I don't control most of that.
Yeah.
All right. April says, I had a question on Facebook about the company I got where Amazon actually approached them. Why would they go with me and not Amazon? And what does Amazon accept from companies? Maybe lots of inventory. I don't know about the second part of that, but there's a lot of reasons why small companies will not work directly with Amazon. They get crushed. It's a pain in the butt. I have worked with companies that have said, okay, we tried to work with Amazon and, they get changed on the reps a lot of times. It's just too big, too corporate-y. They need somebody that's going to take the time to listen to them and really work with their company. And, they don't have necessarily a role. So some companies are starting to see it where they have somebody that's like an Amazon person. They have a role that's Amazon guru. And a lot of the small companies, they can't afford to have that person on staff. So that's why they would work with that. And they've now taken out all the risk, because if Amazon goes to your small company and says, send in 500 widgets and 3 widgets sell, and they're like, well, sorry, you're SOL on the rest of your widgets, and we're going to charge you $3 a piece to ship them back, you're screwed. So, I've been told the wrong information from Amazon many times.
I will say I had a client when I was still working, and the company is called Monster. They make like headsets, speakers, wiring. The company is called Monster. Anyway, the owner of Monster, I used to cut his hair. So of course, at that time I was doing Amazon, and I was always hitting up my clients for like, can I sell your stuff on Amazon? He told me that he was working with Amazon. And so he was one of those people. He says, I would never work with them again. He says, what they did is, let's say he sent in some of the speakers. Amazon dictated the pricing on it. So then a lot of his regular stores and vendors were mad because, let's say normally in store it would go for $40. Amazon had it on Amazon at $20. And so he felt it was really ruining his brand and the reputation of his brand.
Yeah. They'll do that
he found it a nightmare. Mm-hmm.
They'll start off and they'll be like, oh, okay, you want $19.99, that's fine. And then they come back 3 months later and like, yeah, it needs to be $14.99 now.
Yep.
And you're like,
yeah, Amazon ended up dictating the pricing on it. They had no control over it.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Nicolette said, spent 2 hours cleaning out storefront, discovered you had 20 items listed that I no longer had. I had that happen yesterday. I went to go ship and I'm like, shoot, I had to cancel one order. It's my first and only cancellation for no inventory this year, which I think was good. I was like, I can live with one. But yeah, I still am cleaning up from Christmas. If you sell merchant fulfilled during Christmas times, if you get cancellations, that doesn't go back into your inventory, which is, I'm like, why can't we fix that? Why can't we fix that? That seems like an easy thing to fix from a computer standpoint, but what do I know? I don't do programming. My son does, so I'll ask him that next time I Zoom. All right. Do you have a website to ungate expensive brand name makeups? I would just say go to the
brand name makeups.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I was auto ungated for most of the ones that I sell. I did see recently, and I do want to warn people that somebody who sells Clinique makeup got a message from Amazon that I believe beginning, I want to say April of this year, that they will no longer be able to sell Clinique. So I think Clinique is now going to be gated across the board for everybody. I have sold Clinique in the past, but I know some people, Clinique was their bread and butter. So being that on the higher end makeup, I would try, because I am ungated on most of those type. If it is not controlled by just the brand and there are several sellers on it, like let's say it was Clinique, I would probably try buying it from a site like Macy's and getting 10 units. That would be something I might try if you cannot order from the brand site directly. If the brand has their own site and you can order directly off of their site, I would do that first and use what they send you and making sure you get 10 units.
I know that, is it called Tarte?
Tarte. It's just
Tarte.
Tarte.
I know that Tarte, I believe you can buy directly from their website.
Yeah, like Urban Decay and different brands out there. MAC makeup, you can buy directly on their company sites.
Yeah, and then it becomes just like Lego. The easiest way to do Lego is to buy from Lego.com.
Yeah.
All right. Is it okay for me to use boxes that say Kohl's on the outside or any other retail store to send in products to Amazon FBA?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You sure can.
The only thing you cannot do is use liquor boxes to ship, because then it gets flagged and needs to go ground. And you can use those boxes, but you have to cover the entire box, which is a pain in the butt. That's me how I know. I was pissed. I thought, the guy at the, what was he? He was stocking beer or something. I'm like, oh, can I have boxes? And they gave me a bunch of free boxes. I was like, yay, free boxes. And then my guy was like, you have to cover the entire outside. And I already had everything back. So I used like 4x6 shipping labels and put them all over the outside. It was awful. It was just awful.
That said, this is not liquor.
Yes.
Liquor, I barely even know her.
Somebody replied that Amazon doesn't take any type of bank. They only accept banks that they accept.
Try not to laugh.
True.
I find that funny.
They take a lot of banks though. For international sellers, I had a list. I have it somewhere on the banks that are that are good to use. One is Wise. If you don't have an international account and you need an international account, I suggest Wise, WISE. They're really easy to work with. And if you are international and you're like, I need a bank that will work.
Is it Wise spelled the right way, or is it with a Z? I always thought it was WIZE, but it's spelled with the S. Why do I feel like that bank is WIZE? Now we have to know. I have to know.
I don't have it in here.
I'm going to Google it because I feel like I've seen something spelled Wise.
It's not a Z. I'm 99% sure.
But now I want to know what is. It is Wise with an S, but
no,
I feel like I've seen something.
It's not with an S. It's WISE.
Yeah, that's what I said. It is because I just Googled it, but now I'm wondering what was WIZE. I swear I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Now I need to know.
My son borrowed my Wise card when he was over in Europe because we needed a way that if we had to give him money to like transfer the money over to him. So that was good. But yeah, they accept a lot of banks. There's quite a few banks they do accept. Is the performance percentage will go back to 0 if you respond to the question correctly, or the percentage will still count after answering the question? This is for inbound shipping performance issues. If you do the inbound shipping, like say you get a ding on inbound shipping and you answer the question correctly, your performance, it goes back to, what does it say? There are no issues with your performance right now, something like that. So yeah, it goes back to quote unquote 0 for shipping performance. Do you sell Nike? I'm wondering if it's worth it. I know how to get ungated, but concerned about IP problems. Yeah, I sell Nike. I
sell it. It's not one of my account's not full of it, but I do sell it if I run across a good deal. And I've, knock on wood, I've never once had an IP issue.
No, I don't make listings for Nike products.
Right.
I jump on existing Nike stuff, and there are a lot of things out there that you can go with Nike. I've never heard about IP issues with Nike. Have you?
Never. I never have.
Does anybody sell on Brazil? No.
I don't. But Melinda, mentioning this, when we interviewed Helium 10 last week, what was he mentioning about Brazil? Because they were incorporating it into Helium 10 because I think it's going to be opened up to U.S. sellers, how we have Canada and Mexico. Is that what the deal is? And Melinda, Have you seen it available in your account yet?
I haven't seen anything in my account or any of the accounts.
Okay. So she said this market automatically showed up in my list with Mexico and Canada. Yeah. This is something that Amazon has just rolled out. So I personally have not tried it yet. But Bradley last week from Helium 10 said that it is a real up and coming and growing market. So if you feel like you have some good products for there and want to open it up, it may not be a bad idea. Or you may want other people to do it first and see what the word is on YouTube for positive or negative experiences.
I have not heard positive things about Brazil recently. I hear there's just a lot of crime and
on Amazon.
No, just like in general, which makes me not want to ship there. Like there are some countries that have a high, like Mexico. I will only sell through the NARF program to Mexico because a lot of things get lost. What is BIL? I'm going to give it a go. BIL, here I come. What's BIL? It's an acronym. I don't know it, Tina. Do you know it?
I'm not sure. It's not ringing a bell. It's not ringing a BIL.
So I'm going to ship soap bottles. And
Linda said, she says it's Build International Listing.
Oh,
look at you with the acronyms.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I need more coffee. I knew that. So I'm going to start shipping soap bottles and I need to bubble wrap them. So how can I get the expiration label? Is there any way to get it even if it's not on the product? Sure. The expiration usually is built into the product numbers. And if it's not there, then it usually has like a little, after you open it's good for 6 months or 3 months or a year, and just kind of estimate it. Honestly, guys, sometimes Amazon wants to have everything fit into a square box and you have a round peg. So you kind of just got to make something up. If you have a soap product and it's like a bar of ivory soap and you're going, oh my God, they want an expiration, make something up. Put a year on there, put 2 years on there. It's soap. It's not going to kill anybody if it goes past the expiration. Probably doesn't have an expiration. And nobody's going to be hurt if the soap is old. I've used very old soap. It's not going to be hurtful. If you have vitamins or medicine on the other hand, don't do that. Don't do that. That could be very harmful, with oral injecting things. But yeah, it comes into play. You want to kind of think of expiration dates and a few things. Is the product going to break down? Because some lotions, some makeups will break down and the customer will get a gooey pile of crud with, say a mascara or something like that. You don't want to ship things that are extremely old, that are all crusty and nasty. But a bar of soap or liquid soap probably has several years before it's going to break down into anything. So you gotta kind of use some common sense going forward here. And then just reading lot codes. Like I have Bath and Body Works here, and on the bottom, I don't think anybody can see it, but there's a printed, and they covered it up with a label, but there's a printed lot code. And if you go Google how to decipher Bath and Body Works lot code, it's the Julian date, and then you add 2 years to whatever the Julian date is. And the Julian date is every day in the year has a number, right? So the 56th day of the year is 56 days in. And this year's leap year, right? So it kind of throws the Julian calendar off. But,
things like soaps and shampoos and conditioner, they really do expire because you can open them and they smell like they have like a musty smell. So, but I mean, you should know this just from living life, right? I mean, life should teach you these lessons. Yeah.
Common sense. Like salt. You know what? I don't really care what salt expiration is because salt is already millions of years old. It's not going to go bad in my lifetime. It's not going to go bad in my grandkids' lifetime. Don't worry about it. But, fresh herbs, they lose their
potency
after a while. So you don't want to really sell old herbs. I mean,
use common sense. Amelia has a question here too. Hi, friends. I have a few items which were deemed as damaged when received by the seller, different items fulfilled by merchant. And I tried submitting a claim to Amazon and they told me to go to the carrier. Shipping was sent through Amazon. So UPS and UPS say no, Amazon is the purchaser. Ideas.
Yes. You need to get the Amazon UPS number. When you're filing a claim, it's built into that tracking number. I haven't done it, but I've read a lot about it. In the tracking number to the customer is built in Amazon's ID for their customer. You know how, like, if you ship outside, you have a customer ID with UPS. They have that built into there. But what I would say is file a safety claim with, they're trying to get reimbursed for like shipping damage, right? Not a safety claim. If they send something back to you wrong, then that's a safety claim. As far as shipping, then there's more on that, Amelia. So I'll have to Google it. I'll Google it some more while we answer some things, see if I can find anything more on it. But you got to have Amazon's number in that tracking number because it is Amazon's shipping.
Do you think if you opened a case, Amazon would decipher that for you? Do you think I know that's a crapshoot, but
I really have stopped going to Amazon customer support. I don't think I've had to call them since around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just been...
It's a waste of time most of the time. It truly just is a waste of time.
It is. All right. Is proof of residence address the same as proof of business address? I believe there is a difference. Please explain. And what if the service information company provides a lease agreement? Is that the same as a utility bill? Will it be accepted by Amazon? I know a lease agreement will not be accepted by Amazon because I did a lease agreement and they didn't really care. I needed to show a utility bill. So it's not the same as a utility bill. I don't know if it won't be accepted, but I do know it's not the same. As far as resident address and business address, those are not the same either. What do you have to say?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that they are possibly trying to set up an Amazon seller account using the address of their warehouse and proof of address of that is my guess. But I would agree with you. Your warehouse, if you will, or your business should have its own set of bills. I know when I've owned my hair salons, I had lease agreements, but I also had utility bills that came to my salon, just like you do for your house. So I would imagine there's some bill that comes there, a phone bill, something.
Yeah, you will have some sort of bill. I got to answer some questions on here too. All right, ma'am, I want to ungate a product in books category named Atomic Habits. Good book, by the way. I also have invoice from authorized distributor, but Amazon rejecting it. Kindly help. You don't have an authorized invoice. That's the problem. I can tell you right now, by the way it's worded, you probably bought this off of something that's not an authorized wholesaler or distributor, and you shouldn't need to ungate for Atomic Habits. If it is locked down, then there's a reason it's locked down and you want to not do that. I will look for ad products.
A lot of times you can sell books used, but I don't think you can sell certain books like that new unless you are the author.
Yeah. I'm looking, I can sell it new. I'm in my account as well. So there is something going on with this question. Either they are trying to sell like a CD or a Kindle and it's not working.
Or they didn't buy enough units.
Yep. Or they didn't buy.
Or they didn't annotate their invoice correctly.
But I'm thinking the amount of times I get hit up for, can I use this invoice from Alibaba is ridiculous. I'm like, why do you guys keep thinking that Alibaba is a real place? We tell you over and over and over, Alibaba does not sell authorized things. They are not an authorized distributor. You cannot buy stuff over there. And then other countries, I get a lot of people that are like, my invoice won't work. And I look at it and the big things I see is information doesn't match. And it's not in English. I'm like, people aren't going to translate your invoice for you. It needs to be readable in English. And then they don't have it matching up. I had one guy who was swearing. He's like, well, that's the DBA of my company. Nobody knows that, but you. They can't. They're not going to go out and see, I wonder if this company is underneath that company. No, they don't care. They're just going to say reject and move on.
All the things have to match. This is such a great question. This here has not been a problem that's floated around in Facebook really a lot since during COVID. This was a big problem during that time when an item is deactivated because of high or low pricing and you have attempted to adjust the price, but no matter what you do, it keeps getting deactivated. What do you do? I cry, Melinda, because it's such an aggravating thing when this happens. Do you remember getting the high pricing errors?
Is that still going on?
Apparently so. This one is a very, very hard one. Sometimes there is nothing you can do. If you created the listing, sometimes you in the back end you have what is it called? It's that two prices. Not when you're running a sale.
Min-max price.
No. There's I have to look in the back end of my listing. You can have your price and it's equivalent to your MSRP and then what it's going for. List price. And so sometimes if you create the listing in the back end, you can kind of manipulate that sometimes. Sometimes I've gone so far as deleting it while it's still in stock, letting it go to stranded, then add it to my inventory. I have done so many different things. There have been cases where I am priced at, say, $19.99. There are several people who are currently active in selling the item on Amazon, say for $21.99. And then a few people that are lower, and I kind of fall in the middle. I have gone so far to take screenshots of my entire Amazon screenshot of that active listing, and then circle, like how you annotate invoice sort of thing, circle that there are currently all of these sellers higher above the price that you are essentially trying to force me to. I've used phrases like, pricing manipulation. And I've done all different sorts of tactics to try to get Amazon to side with me and fix it. It can be a very hard win. And then sometimes I just give up and pull it.
I usually just wait for that low person to sell out, and then it just...
Well, but the Amazon is deactivating yours because you have a high pricing error.
Right, but as soon as that other person sells out and the price goes back up, yours gets reactivated.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Thank you, Miguel. MSPR. My brain, it's like the things are there. It's because I have a billion things spinning in my head. It's like I'm grasping for it.
All right. Compliance questions. These ones. I have submitted the CPC, and now they're asking me for ISO 17025 testing, and it costs a lot. What should I do? Sell on eBay.
Yeah, because that can be too much investment unless it's a brand and a product that you're really going for.
Yeah, that's what they have gone to. And if you don't have the paperwork and you don't want to get the paperwork, then you need to go sell somewhere else. It's another one that I get from Alibaba a lot. Oh, well, I have this new stuffed animal and I'm selling it on Amazon. Did you get the compliance paperwork? What? Yeah, you have to have testing paperwork on any plush sold in toys, or it's going to be taken down and you're going to be SOL with all that inventory. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't research that. And then I ask them, they're like, oh yeah, I took this course, and they didn't
leave out that part. Well, look, this is how we all learn, is we've all learned the things the hard way. I know I've learned most of the things I've learned on Amazon the hard way. If there's going to be a wrong way to do it, this is what I have done. And this is how I've learned to do things the right way, despite my constant learning and studying and Amazon changing rules. Oh, Miguel asked a question. So Miguel says, are you getting more than 3 shipments split from Inventory Lab? So Amazon changed things, and everybody is getting this unless you write to Amazon opting out of the program. But there's a caveat to this.
Yeah.
So what is the program called? Because we covered this before Christmas. So I don't know the name of it. I'd have to dig. If you're in our Facebook group, if you go digging for this topic, you'll find whatever this program is called on Amazon. So I wrote to Amazon asking to be removed from it because I don't want my things going to 3 shipments, or like on your second part of this statement, you said you had one split to 5 locations. I may opt back into it though in April. It depends. So Amazon released some new, would you call them fees, rules, programs? I don't know what you want to
Yeah,
call it. With
I'm
Amazon's
Googling.
ever changing stuff that really sticks it to us sellers. So in the past, we would all try to get our things going to one warehouse, right? Or even the nearest warehouse to where we live. Well, now what Amazon is going to do, and I believe this rolls out in April of this year, Amazon is now going to start charging us for fulfillment center transfers. So when all of your stuff goes, say, to the nearest warehouse to your house, like it has for most of us for a long time, and then from there, Amazon will take part of your inventory and ship it to neighboring states or clear across the US from where you live. That's just always been part of Amazon. Now, Amazon is going to start charging us for those fees. When they are transferring our inventory that we sent in to one warehouse, they're going to stick those fees on us. So it depends now on the cost of shipping, whether I change back. So if I want to opt out of that program and I ship all of the stuff to my closest warehouse, how much is it going to cost me now for Amazon to send some of my items to these different warehouses across the US? It's like I would have to add that up to compare it to how much is it costing me for 3 and 5 shipping labels, because essentially Amazon is having you ship it to their different warehouses so they don't have to. So then it becomes a matter of which cost more, the extra shipping labels or what Amazon is now going to start charging us to move our inventory after it hits the one warehouse. I know that was a mouthful. I had to think it through out loud. So I hope you followed along and I hope that made sense.
I'm looking at my cases because I know I had a case about it, but I don't know if I'll get it.
Yeah, Miguel. So definitely leave a comment to let me know if I confused you more or if that actually made sense.
When was it? Oh, opt out of multiple destinations program. And I'll show you exactly what I wrote.
Yeah. So Miguel, if you don't want to do that, or if you want to, you want to opt out of it and then maybe opt back in April when it actually hits, because we at least have a few more months of getting to ship this way without being penalized for it. You can, all I did, and Lucy did the same, we just opened a case in Amazon and asked to please be removed from the multiple destinations program.
Yeah,
and we were removed immediately. I want to say it took less than 24 hours. So now when I do my shipments and inventory lab, it all goes to one warehouse almost every time. But again, moving forward, once they implement those fees to us, I'm going to really have to follow the numbers closely so I know which option is best.
All right. So all I did was I opened a case. You could also email, and I said, hello, I want to opt out of multiple destinations program. Do your seller ID and your merchant token. And they say, thank you. You will see new shipments. You could create return to standard distribution placement. So you want standard distribution replacement. Ridiculous. Their wording is ridiculous. It raises the risk of lost boxes.
Yeah. And this is the hard part about it, Miguel, is like Amazon just sticks us with every chance they get. They're also going to start implementing fees when we have low stock of items. Like there's a lot of fees hitting this year. They haven't started yet, but they're going to be rolling them out here in 2024. Whoops. I was trying to post this one here. Yeah, it raises the risk of lost boxes. That's the truth.
All right, I got a rant on Nicolette here with her. I would say not on her, but
yeah, what eBay layoffs.
Oh my goodness. So I have been complaining about eBay for a long time. I went to eBay Open in 2018. A lot of the sellers there said the same thing. Your platform is old. You don't have the features. It doesn't work. You don't have the traffic. People go there to find used, eclectic things, antiques, parts, etc. And they kept saying, no, we want to sell new items and this and that. And we're like, you don't have it set up like that. So we complained and complained and complained. They have done nothing, no upgrades whatsoever on any of that stuff. And it is now 2024. So what is that? 6 years of the same complaints that they did nothing about. They let go of their CEO, so I am not surprised that they laid off. FedEx is coming out with a program to compete with Amazon, and I don't think it's going to work, but that's something that is going to hurt eBay even more. And then from the general stuff, if you guys are following the news, Microsoft announced a bunch of layoffs, 1,000, maybe 2,000. Epic Gaming laid off. I'm in the Seattle area. I know all of the gaming layoffs up here. About 10,000 people total have been laid off in the gaming industry. And we follow that because the gaming industry is a good, and the tech industry is a good follow. Usually they do the first rounds of layoff before it hits a lot of manufacturing and other industries. It's usually the first to have signs of an economic downturn. So we'll see. It could be, there's the part of eBay layoffs, that, and then there's the wider issue of all the layoffs that have been going on right now. And honestly, eBay needs to they need an overhaul. They need a whole overhaul. So that's my rant. Do you have any?
Nicolette follows up with, I think they are trying to be Amazon and they have lost their core identity. They have squeezed us sellers enough for fees and now they're cutting labor to stay afloat. And, I love eBay. So it makes me sad. I hope they make some changes for sellers on eBay. And I do shop on eBay, not a lot. But we do still shop on eBay. Like my husband, for instance, and I think some guys too, he will sometimes need an auto part or a part for his quad, and he is looking on eBay for it. Or if you like vintage, sports cards, sports memorabilia, or he likes to look on there for baseball, like different hats. So they're definitely, people do still shop on eBay. We talked, you and I, with our group this week that some people feel it was for the older crowd and that group is not shopping on there anymore. But there are a lot of younger people who do shop on there that want to rock vintage clothes, vintage. There are a lot of younger people who do like the vintage clothing. And when I say vintage, it's not vintage to you or I, but it is to them.
I'm like 95. I'm like, screw off. Okay, so I agree, but there's a lot of other places to get it quicker, better, faster. Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, there's a lot more cool places that do better photography, do better, eBay. Two parts with eBay. There's the used stuff and there's the new stuff. For the new stuff, Amazon and Walmart are kicking their butts, hands down. For the used stuff, you had all these other websites that popped up that do it better, and you didn't grow. You didn't grow in either of those directions.
Well, shopping on Mercari and Poshmark is definitely super easy. It's all a phone on, on your an app on your phone. It is definitely easy. It's easier to list on those. Yep. A lot of people like Poshmark because of the no returns. I don't know.
They need a marketing campaign. They need to fix their platform. Their platform is clunky. It's hard. It's not. I've tried listing on there. I'm like, this is just ridiculously difficult. And I don't need to do difficult because when I list on eBay, it's one-offs, right? It's a return shirt or a pair of sneakers or something. I don't need difficult for one-off things. I need easy for one-off things. If I was going to make replens and bundles over there, then yeah, I could put the time in there. And China's killing it. We had to talk about Temu and Shein they're killing clothing sellers on all the platforms across the board. My daughter shops on Shein. She's like, why would I go to the mall and buy a $30 sweater when I can get it for $8 on Shein and I wear it for a season and then by next year I'm going to get something else. And I agree.
I always have a harder time selling brand new things on eBay. I definitely stick for the older stuff. I feel like there's still always going to be collectors. I don't know that that's only an older aging audience. I think people of all ages, have certain things they collect. Think of Squishmallow, right? Those are brand new. People collect those. So I will say I have sold Squishmallow on eBay, and especially because Amazon always ends up removing Squishmallow listings because of lack of having the toy compliance paperwork. So for me, I think eBay is still great for anything collectible. Like I was saying before with baseball cards, things like that, Disney collectibles, Squishmallows. It's a great place to go for people who collect things.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nate, you missed everything. You missed everything.
And I got your message last night, or actually early this morning, Nate. I received your message. So I waited till a reasonable hour to message it back. But yes, Nate messaged me last night asking about Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab was down yesterday. I could not create a shipment to save my life. I went checking my email, and they had sent out an email to all of us letting us know that the issue was on Amazon's side. And there was actually a board on Amazon that you could read and follow along for when Amazon seems to want to work it out. So last night, I want to say it was around 5, maybe 5:30, I was able to push out some shipping labels. It just wouldn't let me. I was able to have the shipment in there. I just couldn't make a label. So it did work itself out last night. I don't know if it's acting up again today or if Inventory Lab has got it all worked out.
Did you read the letter they sent the other day about LTL through Inventory Lab?
I did. I skimmed read it because I don't really do LTL shipments, but it's cool that it is an option. I know you and I have talked about trying that before because I've gotten things on a pallet, but I've never considered shipping it back out to Amazon on a pallet.
That's my goal by my birthday to switch to LTLs because it's just with the shipping cost.
And I was wondering, and I'm assuming the answer is yes, because usually my pallet shipments that arrive for me, it's usually not all the same item. I usually don't get a pallet of all the same widget. Mm-hmm. It's a mixed pallet of different products. Can we send pallets back out that way to Amazon? Can they be pallets of mixed products? I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, I've done pallets of mixed products for other people.
Yeah.
I haven't done it through Inventory Lab, so I was kind of curious of that. I got to go read that this weekend. But I have a question for Tina. Tina, when I do case packing through Inventory Lab, I still have to go through Amazon and put everything in the box because it doesn't want, or not Amazon, but in Inventory Lab, it gets to the part and it's like you still have to assign crud to a box. And I'm like,
well, because you just put that it all fits in one box. Yeah. So it's.
No, I'm case packing. So like if I send out 3 boxes and it's a case of this, case of this, case of this, when I go through Inventory Lab and I set it up, I'm like, I'm doing case pack Inventory Lab. At the end, I still have to say, 20 went in one box, 21 in box 2, and 21 in box 3. Is that still
standard? I think, it is. But the nice thing about case pack is that, like if we were doing like Miguel is and it's getting divided to 5 different places, that used to be a trick to keep it all going to one. I would make sure that I did 50 of the same item in a box so I could case pack it and ship it to one warehouse, because Amazon used to be multiple warehouses. Then Amazon decided to start condensing things to going to the closest warehouse. Now that they're dividing it back out again, it might be a good idea to do case packing for that very reason. So you can maybe send out 5 boxes, but at least it's all case packs.
Reggie, that is exactly why I haven't started yet, because LTL hang-up times during Q4 were ridiculous. And everybody's like, don't do LTL between Black Friday and 25th. Do you know if it's still longer, and is longer by how much? That's the thing. Because if it's like 2 days longer, okay, I can live with 2 days. But if it's 2 weeks, no, screw that. I'm not doing that. Let me know if you know. If not, I will.
And Reggie, I have to ask, and I'm sure you've been asked all your life, do you like baseball?
Nicolette says, sometimes I go to send new items to FBA and it refuses to let me. Is there a way to know that in the field when buying the product? Yeah, turn on all your settings. Scan it with your Amazon seller app on the phone. And then in that app, there's a settings. It's like notification settings, and you want to turn all that on. So it tells me if something's hazardous, if I'm restricted, if there's any restrictions on it. So I use Scoutify too, mostly if I'm scanning at the store. But if it's something new and I'm like, I don't know, I scan it with Amazon as well.
Yeah, I don't know how you're scanning or searching, Nicolette, but I know when I've gone out and if I've used the Scoutify app, and I didn't get that warning. And then I got home and I'm going to create my shipment. Like, oh crap, I'm restricted, because I forgot to, if it's a new brand I haven't done before and I forget to double check on the Amazon seller app, I've made that mistake. And then sometimes you're lucky, you could just get an auto ungate and there you go. And Reggie Jackson says he does like baseball. I couldn't resist. And poor Reggie, I know you've gotten that your whole life.
For what's the one at Kohl's when you scan it and it's always, you can't sell new because Amazon locks down the new ones. You know what brand it is? It's not Nike. It's the other one.
When it's new and Amazon locks down new, what do you mean? Like you can sell it used condition?
Yeah, you can sell it used. Huh?
Like if it were Nike, Amazon is say locked down Nike.
It's one of the big brands.
Yeah, but you're saying, but are you saying it's something that you can sell, but only in used condition, or you can't sell it at all?
No, you can only sell it in used. Big brand. This is like charades, Tina.
Adidas, like is it a brand like that, like Nike, Adidas, like in the shoe industry? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
It's big sports brand. It's not Nike. It's not Adidas. It is. Okay, y'all will probably answer in just a minute. It's not Champion. We'll get it figured out. LTL is faster if you book outside. Do you use UPS for LTL? Because that's what they're trying to. Under Armour. Thank you, Millennium Mom. It's Under Armour. Under Armour is famous for that. People will go to Kohl's and they're like, "Oh, I found all this Under Armour stuff," and then they get home. They're like, "I can't sell it new. What do I do? Do you sell it used? Yeah. Do you sell it on eBay?" I mean, that's basically it. Just you can either sell it used or on eBay, or bring it back to the store. So yeah,
is that Under Armour across all of their listings? Because
no, it's only the new
sold Under Armour, and I was able to do it new.
Yeah, it's not all of them. It's just something to know to check for when you're out. Because for me at Kohl's, I'd say 80% of Under Armour is locked down for new for me from Kohl's when I'm scanning Kohl's. Yeah, Miguel, let me know who you use outside of Amazon because UPS wants me to do it, and then sits in a warehouse. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm so nervous about it.
Yeah. Whenever you do something the first time, it's always a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no matter how long you've been doing this with Amazon, change is always uncomfortable, trying new things, until you've done it a few times. And
Tina and I were busy putting our goals together for this next year, and that's one of the things I got to work on today. But I have a few things in January. I'm getting audited by the state, which I'm really pissed off about because whatever. I'm like, you guys just need like things to do, and you're picking on me. But I yelled at her. That I was telling Tina the other day. She wanted at first to have every receipt that I'm doing tax that I paid tax on that I got reimbursed for. All my receipts from 2020, 21, 22, and 3/4 of 23. And I said, it'd be easier for me to load my boxes up into the car and drive them over for you because we're talking hundreds of pages. I said, do you even have a program that will support that much data? And it's going to take me weeks to get that all scanned. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, we'll do a different type of sample size. I'm like, yeah, I think we will. So
and see, if you used a program like I do, which you say, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
If I'm not.
Like I do the HubDoc, where every week I scan my receipt up into HubDoc. All of my receipts from however many years back are stored in there. And I'd be like, okay, sure. Here's a user login to HubDoc. Here's all my receipts. And you would have had to do nothing.
I'm not doing it.
Well, then don't do it.
I'm not doing it, Tina. ABF transport. I'm writing that down. Hold on. Okay. I'll make an account with ABF. If that's, through your prep center. I'll see if it's in my area. All right. Next question we got. Somebody complaining about authenticity and refusing receipts. Correct. For authenticity complaints, first up, there's a couple different authenticity.
That can be a hard word to spit out.
There is direct from the manufacturer or the brand. And then there is stuff that customers will say that gets flagged. So let's say I bought this t-shirt on Amazon, Western, go Western. And I'm like, I didn't really like this shirt. And I think the material was kind of junk. And I put in the comments either on a product review or an order review or a seller review. And I think they sent me a fake sweatshirt, or what was the other one? There was something that that was not authentic. There's a couple words for not authentic. So not authentic, fake. I can't remember the other ones. Charades is not my thing today. But if you get those types of violations, it comes up as possible violations. I got to look at where's my account health dashboard? They come up as, instead of received IP complaints, they come up as product authenticity customer complaints, product condition customer complaints, suspected intellectual property violations. Those three you can sometimes use receipts for and win. If you get a received IP complaint, receipts are not going to work at all, period, end of story. So, you got to kind of know which violation you're talking about. Same with ungating. When you are ungating, sometimes receipts, and I'll say receipts, will work and not invoices, depending on how it looks and what it looks like. But you cannot use packing slips. You cannot use...
Yeah, because I did win with a Big Lots receipt during Q4. I shared it on the live. I don't know that you remember, but I got a complaint. It was a IP complaint. I think it fell under IP complaint. Anyway, it was a food product that I bought at Big Lots. And I had a really long Big Lots receipt. We did it on the live. And the Big Lots receipt shows the UPC on their receipt. And so, of course, it did match the UPC of the item that I was selling on Amazon. I submitted my Big Lot receipt to Amazon. I circled the bottom part where it shows that I paid with my American Express card, because it will show like Amex 1, 2, 3, 4, and I pointed out to Amazon that is the credit card attached to my Amazon selling account. And I circled the city, where I live and where my Amazon account is. I pointed out the UPC code, the item, and I won. And I was like, wow, I won with a Big Lots receipt. I was pretty stoked about that.
Absolutely. And I have won with many different receipts. Now, what I did not win was a Bath and Body Works one. I'll just share because it's not a big deal. I had a Wahoo coconut sunset, and the word sunset is trademarked, and the lady was kind of a not very nice, something that starts with a B. And I gave Amazon my receipts, and I'm like, look, it is called a Wahoo sunset. The name in it, a Wahoo sunset. And anyhow, they didn't care. So I'm letting it fall off my board. I'm done dealing with that. I'm another thing I'm very irritated with. HubDoc is right here. I put it in the thing. How do you scan with? You have like a little...
I thought you weren't doing it. Why do you care? Huh?
Asking for the clients. Shut up, Tina. Shut up.
So HubDoc is... I think it costs money if you don't already use Xero. So I use Xero for my bookkeeping. So for me, I have an app on my phone that I go through for HubDoc. You can do it online. So you can log on to your online, or you can log in to your account. So like covering up my business name at the top, it will look like that. There's some receipts there, just like our Amazon seller app. There's like the camera icon. And so I just hold my phone over it and I take a photo of my receipt, photo. And so it uploads it into HubDoc. And then I go putting my receipts in the file folder for the month. Now I have used, like when I was looking for that Big Lots receipt, all I have to do is go into HubDoc and I can type up Big Lots, because it recognizes the title on top of the receipt, Target, whoever your supplier is. I type that in and it shows you all of the dates and the totals of the receipt. So it does make it kind of easy to go, I bought that about in April, and kind of click through those receipts, and then bam, there it is. And you can download the photo of your receipt. Or you can go digging through that folder if you want the actual picture of your receipt. But it does make it really, really nice. And if you were being audited and you needed to give them a whole bunch of receipts, they're already right there. They've already been scanned. The work's already been done.
I know QuickBooks allows me to attach receipts into the link it up to the transaction as well, but the millennial mom needs to be quiet too. Quiet. Be quiet.
It's getting up on Lucy time.
I know that QuickBooks allows me to upload receipts as well to different transactions and paperwork and stuff. I don't need extra work right now.
It's so easy. Once a week when you do your paperwork, however many paper receipts you have. I mean, how many paper receipts do you have in a week? It's not that many that it's going to take you that long. And then once a week you go through your email ones, download them as a PDF file and upload them into Hub. It doesn't take long. Not even 30 minutes. We're talking 10, 15 minutes. Easy peasy.
I'm not going to do it. Refuse. For an LLC, did you use your home address? I want to use a virtual office address, but my only concern is how it works with Amazon verifications. Yeah, that's a concern. But if you use a virtual address that allows you to see an open mail, that's the thing, open mail. Because when the verification card comes, it comes in an envelope about yay big, and it's security, so you cannot see that code. So if you just have one that scans and shows that it's there, you need somebody to physically open it up and show you that code. So I know some places do that, some places don't. I don't know enough about virtual addresses. I used my home address because I did my LLC way back in the day. And, use something that you're going to be at and physically at to receive addresses, however that works for you. 30-day free trial, and it's $12 a month. Creating a better process and system for all the new years will set us up for success. Yes.
So
but doing stuff that you don't have to do is not.
Yeah. So Nate, that $12 a month, I don't know if that would be worth it or not. Like, because, that could be a big expense, at the end of the year, $12 times 12 months. But there could be free softwares out there that do the same thing. I don't know. I've never looked for it because HubDoc just always came with zero. So it just made it really nice and how it integrates together. I mean, look through your phone. Maybe there's apps that allow you to do that for less money a month or for free. That's just an idea, but it does make it so nice when you need to find a receipt, even if it was from a couple of years ago. If you're having to prove a claim on Amazon, it just makes it easy to find it in your system. You can re-download it into your computer, upload it to an email if you need to, upload it into Canva or wherever you annotate your receipts. It's so nice when you have to find the thing.
HubDoc, you gotta subscribe. Do you have an affiliate link with HubDoc?
No.
Okay. Never mind. All right, we're gonna blow through these other questions real quick because I gotta get going. I got about 5-10 minutes left here. So get your questions in now, and then we're gonna blow through these ones really quick. I bought my son an iPhone case. When it came with a screen protector, it was cracked. I clicked on the return and refund. Ended up being a replacement. I don't know how that happened. The seller did want me to return the cracked one. I ended up returning both because I got new phones. Not sure when I clicked damaged. Okay, you clicked the wrong return option because they really are pushing to just replace the items right now. They also push to just refund to your Amazon account. I'm like, no. Refund me to my bank account, not to Amazon. So you have same with sending it back. They want, go drop it off at Whole Foods. No. I don't want to drop it off at Whole Foods. I don't go to Whole Foods. We would love to take advantage of subscribe and save. Do you have any knowledge? Yeah, you got to be invited. If your items are selling, they'll send you an email that says you qualify for subscribe and save.
I think recently they just opened it up where you can request it. I vaguely recall getting an email about that. I think it's very newly rolling out, so I'm not going to swear by it, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. What are low risk industries? I always tell people to go with books, office, and home goods. Those are pretty low risk in terms of selling on Amazon. What's the new NAICS code? Go look it up. That's a Google question. All I would do is Google. You have to find it for whatever industry you're in. somebody's having problems with your listing not showing up, it could be a million things. So you've got to really dive into that. I had a really complex problem yesterday with this guy's account that he had a variation listing, and one of the kids' name was too long. And I don't know how he built it because it wasn't built standard. It was like he had all his Halloween stuff and then he put them all under a parent because it kept the long name. It wasn't just like whatever, skeletons or something. So that long name was triggering the parent to not be able to be editable because the child's name was too long. So I had to fix the child, then fix that. And it was a policy violation for violating parent-child manipulation, which was a weird one. So once I got it cleared up, he messaged me this morning. He was like, it's all cleared. I got the violation off my account, which is great. But that was a strange one. So you just kind of got to poke around and figure out what is wrong with what you're doing and problem solves. There's a lot of different things that could be going on. eBay standards for shipping is below Amazon standards for shipping is below my eBay standards. Yup. Mm-hmm. And I think the rest of these we have answered previously. I just forgot to clear them off my board. All right. Any other questions for today? What are you doing for the day?
Miguel said they sent an email on the 23rd for subscribe and save link and how to subscribe. Yeah, I recall getting that email as well. I hadn't opened it. It's still saved in my account because I was very interested in that. I was helping one of my clients get approved for subscribe and save. He's a registered brand and sells a line of pet treats. So he's not a seller like we are that sell a lot of things. And I knew he would be a candidate for his product. So I wanted to save this because it looked like it was geared toward the rest of us.
There was something I was looking for earlier. Now I can't remember. Oh, it was like how to do. I don't remember where I was searching for that, but circling back to Melinda was. I'll have to post in the group if I find it, Melinda, on how to do a case. I found a chart, and now I don't know where the heck it went. I've got too many screens open. All right, and you are doing Finance Fridays.
Yep. Today we're actually going to go grocery shopping. I didn't grocery shop this week, so we're Mother Hubbard. So we're going to head out and go grocery shopping. And then I will be coming home and doing paperwork and finances and scanning receipts and uploading receipts to HubDoc. Me and Nate will be.
Theon, we already covered that earlier, so you're going to have to go back and rewatch. The answer is for some violations, yes. For some violations, no. Nate's doing shipping today. Good luck there.
Get them out before tomorrow, right? Friday's that last day.
Yep. I don't know what Miguel's talking about. Maybe it is based on your inventory if you sell a lot of groceries.
We're talking about subscribe and save because he got that email that I had gotten as well.
Yeah, it's if people are buying it over and over. If you have a commodity of some sort, and the commodity could be anything from paper towels to grocery items.
Yeah.
Usually it's not clothes, and it's usually not toys, and it's usually not books. How are your guys' Amazon sales compared to Q4 for February or January?
January, it's definitely not as good.
Yeah, like 50% decrease. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. Everybody's sales are sucky compared to last month.
Exactly. All right. Okay. I found what I was looking at for Melinda here now, finally. But I'll have to. Yeah. This is okay. This got me nowhere. Melinda, if you are still listening, what you're going to want to do is go over to, it was either Hustle Buddies or the legal website on the Facebook thing that I follow, and look for UPS claims, and they walk you through how to do it. So I will try and post that in our group. But everybody here, have a great day. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Melinda, Nate, Millennial Money Mom, and Miguel, and whoever else I'm forgetting. April, I know, was in there earlier.
Armand and Nate, Reggie Jackson, Nicolette. Yep, you guys, thank you. Everybody have a great weekend.
Yes. All right. Bye, all.